TD Mod, Episode 9, still in the Blood Moon. We have finally made it far enough where we now need 5,000 additional starting sun for whatever this zombie is. Prepare your eyeballs for the upcoming stupidity that is about to ensue. With this much sun, we can choose any strategy in the game, so I just went with the most expensive plan, which seems like a reasonable choice considering this is the first free flag level in World 8. But we get this much sun for a reason. That's because the Twin Sunflower Zombie is the strongest non-boss enemy yet. It also spawns free graves every 4 seconds just like the Sunflower Zombie, but it has double the health so it takes twice as long to kill. Welcome to Fair and Balanced. Though Winter Melons are handling the ground lanes for now, I forgot to account for Dolphin Riders. Since they are invincible while traveling on their dolphins, it's straight up impossible to kill them with Winter Melons. Just one Golden Dolphin Rider is all it takes to demolish our defense in the water, and the rest is history. One solution is to bring in Tangle Kelps, since their super fast cooldown means that we can easily defend off the Dolphin Riders every wave. But that doesn't actually prevent our Winter Melons from dying. I forgot about the Blood Moon burn, which will end up killing all our Winter Melons in the water after a while. And now we don't even have the funds to repair our defense because we spent several thousand sun on Tangle Kelps. Well, too bad I guess. I mean, if I can't make Winter Melons work here, then we move on to the next most expensive plan. What about Cob Cannon instead? The major advantage Cob Cannons have is that they can take out the Dolphin Riders in the water easily, but now we have problems with Twin Sunflower Zombies since they don't die in one explosion, so they stay on the board long enough to block us from planting more Cob Cannons, which makes it even harder for us to kill them. Don't forget that with Cob Cannons, you have to perfectly time your shots to land on the Dolphin Riders, or else they become invincible and they will do a double leap during the Blood Moon to take out all our defenses. Look, I understand, simply not skilled enough at Plant vs Zombies. And there we go, the first crash of the video thanks to the graves on the board. Since the Winter Melons didn't prevent us from crashing, I'm just gonna cut it so I can bring Imitator Cob Cannons instead to maximize our damage output. I managed to get up 11 Cob Cannons by the first flag with all this extra starting sun, so hopefully that'll be enough. But it seems like this level will take a lot more than just a different loadout to beat. Even with more Cob Cannons, Twin Sunflower Zombies still stayed on the board for long enough, so much so that the natural grave spawn started forcibly removing our Cob Cannons. Then, add that with the Blood Moon making everything move twice as fast and pole vaulters leaping into our defenses to destroy all of our remaining Cob Cannons, we've got ourselves a disastrous run once again. Seeing that we had a ton of leftover sun at the end of the last run, I switched out Marigold for Jalapeno. But Jalapeno might be useless because I can't even find a space to plant it when the whole board is just gravestones, so I had to think of a Cob Cannon to place one down, which I'm not sure if that's a good play or not. And while Jalapeno is sometimes good to clear out the water lane in one go, it isn't going to pay too many dividends here since we still don't have enough damage against Twin Sunflower Zombies. We need some way to keep more Cob Cannons on the board so we can use more than just 2 Cob shots a wave. So maybe Squash will do something because it can freeze all the zombies if we're lucky. Well, that's if we can use the Squash. Right, I forgot about the problem the zombie we're trying to counter presents. And if not being able to use the Squash doesn't kill us, then the game will do it for us by crashing. How the hell are we supposed to kill these Twin Sunflower Zombies faster? Well, I can't exactly call a level impossible if I haven't exhausted all possible options, which includes absurd choices such as using Gatling Peas on a roof level. Well, it does as well as you'd expect the Gatling Pea strategy to do on a roof level. I literally couldn't even defend the first wave of Dolphin Riders, so there's no way we're getting much further than that. They don't even do enough damage to kill off the Twin Sunflower Zombies before they outright destroy our defense by replacing it with gravestones. We probably won't need to test any of the other straight shooting plans this level, but, I mean, what can we really do to beat this absolute madness? Alas, we have to resort to our only way to beat this level. We're pulling out the Extreme Safe Scum method once again. Pause if you need to recap on what Safe Scum is, but Extreme Safe Scum takes this process to another level, by applying it to every wave of the level instead of just making occasional checkpoints. We'll have to make a save state for every wave in the early game so we can min-max every wave, and trust me, this is necessary to beat this level. Doing all this dirty work allows us to squeeze out a whole extra Cob Cannon before the Twin Sunflower Zombies come, which believe you me, that's a big deal. And now for the most annoying part of trying to beat this level, perfecting the mid-game. Did the Snorkel Zombie teleport and kill the Twin Sunflower? Reset. Did we hit the Dolphin Rider 0.1 seconds too late? Reset. Did the Cob Cannon shot get glitched and didn't hit the bottom lane? Reset. Did the pole vaulter jump too quickly before a Cob shot landed? Reset. It's basically impossible to blackboard the level considering how precise every wave has to be beaten. But it can be done with enough luck, a lot of skill, and also planning in advance. Now the first order of business is to continue planting Cob Cannons while we're killing off these Twin Sunflower Zombies every wave. because to beat every single wave this level, you actually need more than 15 cop cannons. Now, that might not make any sense, because there's no way we can fit in more cop cannons without getting instantly destroyed by the gravestones, but no one said we couldn't dig up our existing cop cannons and replace them with a new one to get another cop shot sooner, which is exactly what we have to do here so we can get enough cop shots in preparation for the second flag. Also, if you are wondering, the cop cannons in the water didn't die with the blood moon burn because we were anti-stalling the waves, which means the waves go by quicker, meaning fewer burns happen. And when the second flag comes, you can see how I precisely use my grave busters such that all the gravestone spawns actually get countered by our instant kills instantaneously, minimizing the chance of us crashing. Meanwhile, I have to replace the cop cannons in the water lane because they're about to die after the first blood moon. And on top of keeping track of that, I have to remember to start digging up our flower pots to make space for new gravestones to spawn so that new ones don't spawn on top of our cop cannons and kill them. Meanwhile, we're micromanaging all our cop cannon shots to completely obliterate every wave, and I guess you can see why I said I needed more than 15 cop cannons this level, because at this point, we're using every cop cannon shot off cooldown to keep up with every wave and hold off the zombies. Somehow, with all this precise calculation and when all the stars align, we can actually beat this absolutely horrific level without crashing. I think it goes to show that if you've got enough dedication, put enough thought into the problem, execute your plan perfectly, and make sure to account for everything that could be an obstacle or problem, you'll be able to succeed eventually. This was so close, we only had 100 cents to spare to beat this level. Surely there's no way there's a level even more difficult than this after what we've just witnessed. Right? Thankfully, the next level won't be nearly as stupid because there are no sunflower zombies here. This still looks pretty bad though if I'm gonna be honest. Conad pea shooter zombies in particular will be insanely annoying because all our flower pots will be under fire immediately on the first wave. Nothing we can do here other than just tank the hits while we're building up our walnuts, so that'll slow down our early game. So instead of the usual 3 columns of chompers by the first flag, we only have 2.5 columns, which causes us some problems against flag zombies as we can't kill it quick enough before it craps over all our plants with gravestones. And about Gravebuster, yeah, I had to exclude it in this level because we needed a counter against diggers, catapults, and also balloon zombies. Not having Gravebuster would bite us in the back later when we didn't have enough magnet shrooms to counter the digger zombies because we didn't have enough space. And you know when these guys get to the back of your defense, you can kiss it goodbye because of the buckets they spawn in the middle of it. Or, as the kids nowadays would say, in the thick of it. Okay, but seriously, we need Gravebuster to make space for more magnet shrooms. Or we could just ditch magnet shroom and run potato mine to hard counter digger zombies. I mean, surely the smartest Plants vs Zombies player cannot make any oversights, right? Oh, well, we don't have anything for this in the water, though. Oh my god. Wait, are we just toasted here again? Well, to answer that question for you past RCCH, yes, we are. I just forgot that the digger zombies now also spawn in the water lane, which I'm not even sure how that's supposed to work, but they do. I hate to do it, but we have no choice but to go back to Cop Cannon, because otherwise, we cannot deal with everything in this level at the same time. I mean, nothing beats a plant that can literally kill any zombie anywhere on the board. It's just more versatile, more flexible. Okay, maybe we can't kill all the zombies in this level with just Cop Cannons because of how fast the balloon zombies move, but we still have Plover, so I think we're still fine. Well, if there's one lesson to learn from that, that's to reserve a spot in your defense to plant Blover because your instant use plants can get crushed in this mod. Now back to talking about cop cannons, we can't obliterate every wave as soon as they spawn because we only have 10 cops this time around since we had to make more space for walnuts. We have to be much more careful about how we use our cop cannons, or else we'll get caught with our pants down against a catapult zombie and get demolished. And we can't recover after losing our cop cannons since we can't afford to rebuild them. So unlike the previous level where we wanted to destroy everything as quickly as possible, this time we need to stall as much as possible after eliminating all the digger zombies and catapult zombies in each wave so that all our cop cannons have time to reload. And in the process of targeting the diggers and catapults every wave, we'll just end up killing the zombies from the previous wave with cop cannon splash. We can pretty easily defend off everything as long as we don't waste our cop shots on the brown coat zombies, which are basically harmless to us as long as we just have some walnuts to tank the Zombotany peas. Well, this is definitely a much simpler way to beat this level compared to using Chomper and running 3 different silver bullets. And with cop cannons, the final wave is the easiest wave of the level since we can instantly take out everything. I mean, the only thing I can really say is that the difficulty difference in these levels is quite drastic. It's time for the penultimate level of World 8, and oh dear lord, Michael Jackson is back again to haunt us. A brief recap from the last video. Remember that Michael Jackson can now revive himself during the blood moon, so you know what's upcoming isn't going to be pretty. To make matters worse, this level has 2.5 flags instead of the standard 2. As for what plans I chose for this level, I didn't want to spend 2 hours save scumming with Cop Cannon against dancing zombies again, and since both Chompers and Wintermelons can't hit Pogo zombies, we're left with only one option, which is Gloom Shroom. Countering dancing zombies with Gloom Shrooms is pretty simple. Just place them in a checkerboard pattern so that the backup dancers spawn on empty tiles, and then our Gloom Shrooms will go to town and shred the backup dancers to pieces. Now you might be wondering why I placed a few Fume Shrooms, but they're necessary to prevent Pogos from trampling our Glooms. We'll be using Blover off cooldown to slow down the Pogos so that our Fume Shrooms have enough time to take them out. We won't need Fumes on every lane since Pogos on the odd number lanes get taken out by the Gloom Shrooms next door. And even if Snorkel Zombie can one-shot any plant, just placing a lily pad on top of them gives Gloom Shrooms enough time to kill them, so we can counter Snorkel Zombies too. Well, this level has been suspiciously easy so far, but we all know that TD Mod designs every level to near impossible difficulty, so you know it's never that simple. Defending Pogo Zombies that are moving at regular speed? Yeah, that's pretty simple, just slow them down with Blover. But during the Blood Moon, all zombies move faster, so well, there goes that Gloom Shroom I guess. Ghost Bucketheads also move faster, so now we don't have enough damage to kill it with Gloom Shrooms. Welp, and looks like we're dead. That's one way to lose the game. We have to get extra damage from somewhere for the Blood Moon, so I'll just swap out Lilipad for Imitated Blover, which steals that extra bit of damage we need every wave. Wait, but why a Lilipad instead of say Squash from our loadout? Well, Lilipads are probably pointless since just Blovers do enough damage to kill off the Snorkel Zombies. Now I guess one important thing is to address how we deal with Gargantuars with this setup. Good question. The answer is we don't. We just let the Gargantuar throw its imp and use the roof cleaner. I mean, that is about as reliable as it gets. Well, that was the only Gargantuar that spawned before the second flag, so clearly just better at Plants vs Zombies. But I forgot one crucial part of this level. You know, I think live RCCH might be better for this part of the video. Oh no, I didn't kill the flag zombie, I'm so dumb. Oh my god, okay, we might have just lost the game. I'm so stupid. Yeah, I definitely messed up. Hold on. Wait a second. Can we still win? Oh, final wave. It's fine here. What? Bro! Nah, man! Nah! The Ender Cone that spawned on the first column and killed us. Before the... Nah! Bro! Now what if I told you we still wouldn't beat this level on our next attempt? No way, right? Another skill issue? Nah, just watch this absolute clown show. Yup, slow down. Okay, now we do this. Wait, what? How did that kill a fake? What? What are you talking about? How is that even possible? Bro, we just fucking lost the game off garbage. Well, shout out to Spaghetti Code for that loss. So I had to play the level from the beginning again, and finally made it back to the second flag. This time with all our Gloom Shrooms still alive. This time, I remember to kill the flag zombie before it converted the entire lane into gravestones, and I'm telling you, I ain't got the patience to play this level again, so I'm being extra safe. And once we make it to the final wave, there's nothing else to do other than place a few more Blovers and wait for our Gloom Shrooms to clean up the rest of the mess. With that, we're one step closer to completing World 8. We got a letter, by the way. Let's see what's up with the zombies this time. Alright, and seems like it's just a standard letter. Not much information I can get from here. Let's see what the zombies are coming at us with. Oh my god! Well, at least it's not another boss fight because I'm pretty sure you guys are also sick of them. We're going old school back to a conveyor belt level. The plans for this conveyor belt level are, well, I ain't reading out the list, you can see for yourself. This level presents several challenges for us to overcome. One of them is that Chomper is our only attacking plant, but they're also the least common plant from the conveyor belt, so it makes our early game really awkward since we don't want to be spending all our instant kills as we need to stall the waves for a better chance to get more Chompers. It also kind of screwed over my giant walnut placements since I didn't expect the game to give us close to no Chompers to work with, but we have to make do with what we have. After all, it's a conveyor belt level. Without even 2 columns of Chompers by the first flag, we're basically just relying on Doom Shroom to defend off everything. And if we don't have a Doom Shroom to kill Dolphin Riders before they jump into the water, Golden Dolphin Riders can easily destroy our giant walnuts. Thankfully, the Blood Moon hadn't started yet, so we could still counter them with a Cherry Bomb on the ground lane. And well, the Blood Moon is where the actual challenge of this level is, since by this point, we've already had to spend most of our instant kills earlier, and now we have to deal with faster and stronger zombies. To make matters worse, we also have to deal with Gargantors now, and we're not dealing with them if we don't spend multiple instant kills, considering we still only have 2 columns of Chompers. Then from that point onwards, it's just downhill. The game just didn't give us enough Chompers early on, and now we don't even have enough instant kills to deal with everything they're throwing at us. And well, what happens next? I'll let live RCCH take over this one because this was insane. What the heck? How's the Blood Moon still going? I can't do nothing, man. Give this. Bro, and the Blood Moon just ended. Are you kidding me? I can't even do anything anymore. Hold on. This. We're right here, I think. We need to get flower pots for this. Oh no, okay. Yep, nice, we're good. Oh no, we're so screwed. Please? Wait, there's still another wave? Bruh! What are we supposed to do? This? Okay. No, the water lane! Dude. Oh, come on. Yes! Save! Holy shit, what was that? What was that lily pad? I thought we lost. Okay. Roof cleaner. Doom shroom! Doom shroom! Doom shroom! Flower pot! Flower pot, man! Oh, hell yeah! Oh, hell yeah, I think we got it, folks. No, no, no. Okay, here. Oh my god. No, no. Please? Oh, no. No. Okay, we're fine. Here. No! Oh, okay. Oh, we don't have anything for the flag zombie. We're actually gonna die here. Okay. Okay, we're fine. This? Oh my god. Please, please, coffee bean! Flower pot! Come on! No! No, 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 no! Wait, no! No! Not ice shroom! No! No! No, 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 no! Bro! What the heck was this? Oh my god. You know, I have to be closer here. Holy sh**. What was that? We're now officially 80% of the way through TD Mod's adventure mode, and well, let's just say that everything so far has been completely nuts. And let's just say that it only gets more insane in World 9, which Crazy Dave will introduce to us right now. This place has become a cemetery of death. Maybe you should bust the graves as soon as possible. Well, welcome to World 9, the Cemetery of Death. What's special about this world? Well, you can't really see it here, so let me cut. First things first, we can now use Doomshroom in this world since there's no longer a Blood Moon that deletes them outright. So what's stopping us from just alternating between Doomshroom and Imitator Doomshroom every wave, every level? Well, the gimmick of World 9 prevents us from doing that. 3 gravestones spawn every wave instead of just 1. Just 2 extra gravestones every wave doesn't sound that bad, but that's not the only change. In World 9, grave ambushes can now happen on any wave randomly. It doesn't have to be a flag, it just happens and there's no way to predict or prevent it. But the main difference comes with what is spawned by the grave ambushes. Usually, they only spawn basics and coneheads, but as the level progresses, more powerful zombies start spawning from grave ambushes. It doesn't stop at backup dancers and newspaper zombies, as Michael Jackson and Buckethead zombies can also start spawning after the first flag. Yeah, it's pretty fair and balanced until you don't have Doomshroom. Then there's just literally nothing you can do to counter the mass zombies that are spawned onto the lawn. In this scenario, all we could do was wait until Doomshroom was recharged again, which by then, it was already too late because half our defense was dead already. Oh, but surely you didn't think that was going to be it, right? What's different about the graves, you ask? They summoned the whole ass military on us, and you know it's bad when 2 nukes could not end the war. After that, we just don't have anything left for the top lane, so that's game, I guess. That's one way to stop us from cheesing every level with just Doomshrooms. Is it a bad sign that we're already struggling on the first level of World 9? Maybe, but that isn't gonna stop me. I immediately adjusted our loadout after that run, taking out Cherry Bomb for Walnut since we needed to block off problematic zombies to keep our defense alive for longer. But that is probably not a viable option here, since the graves don't care where we have plants. They just delete them to make space for themselves. If Walnut can't even protect our plants from being destroyed, not much point of running it, is there? Without enough magnet shrooms, chompers just don't do enough damage to defend off the waves of bucketheads this level. If we have to spend doom shrooms on regular waves, then when grave ambushes happen, we are royally screwed because there's absolutely no chance we can hold them off, especially since it's spawning high health zombies like sunflower zombies and gargantuars. Well, the solution is actually pretty simple. Just don't use chomper. If we use gloom shrooms, we can spend doom shroom without killing too many zombies, so we can stall the waves out to let our doom shrooms recharge a bit more. And since Gloom Shroom has infinite pierce, the extra grave ambush zombies make no difference early on when they are still not threatening. Just getting that extra time between waves is all we need to beat this level, because then when a threatening wave of grave ambush does spawn in, we will have Doom Shroom at the ready to take out everything instantly. The solution sounds pretty boring, but just maximizing the number of Doom Shrooms you can use is simply the best solution, like it always has been. And I imagine no one should be surprised how to beat the final wave when you have Doom Shroom. When you can just have 2 of them, there's really nothing the zombies can do. I mean, what else do you want other than a literal nuke? But well, I wouldn't be celebrating just yet because of what's upcoming. Not just sunflower zombies, not just twin sunflower zombies, both on the same level. And guess what? It's a free flag level with only 50 starting sun. Sorry, but how are we meant to beat this level if we couldn't even beat a level with just twin sunflower zombies normally with 100 times more starting sun? That's not to mention how cooked our early game is because of the Coned pea shooter zombies, so we have to spend our sun on walnuts too. I haven't even started talking about how the sunflower zombies spawn additional gravestones in the world where more graves are already spawning naturally. At this point, I might as well forget about renting Gravebuster if I'm gonna be honest. But hopefully, you didn't forget that each extra gravestone is an extra zombie from a grave ambush. Sorry, but this is literally the first grave ambush of the level, and what the hell am I looking at right now? Like, I can't even plant anything because there are so many Zombotany peas on the screen right now that are outright killing everything I place. Welcome to complete insanity. And by the time we finally have another Doom Shroom to clear the field, we are left with only 2 Cob Cannons remaining. Guess what? And by then, it's already the first flag. Oh yeah, what's for the first flag by the way? Oh! More grave ambush zombies again. Well that's nice, isn't it? And guess what? Doom Shroom doesn't even serve as a counter against this madness. Since sunflower zombies spawn so many graves, you can't even place a Doom Shroom in a spot where it can kill all the zombies anymore when the front half of the entire lawn is just a graveyard. So that's another attempt down the drain, just like that. Oh, but RCCH, why don't you just focus on grave busting the middle lane so we would have space to plant a Doom Shroom against grave ambushes? Just because you can't remove all the graves doesn't mean you can't use Doom Shroom. Right? Right? What? If you're confused about how that even managed to happen, don't worry. I was just as confused as you were when first witnessing this, and I had to reread an almanac entry to actually understand what killed the Doom Shroom. Also, before I tell you what happened, you can witness the beauty of a few hundred dancing zombies dancing in unison and killing literally everything we have. Well, turns out, dancing zombies are the culprit. According to the almanac, they do damage around themselves after each dance cycle. This is usually never noticeable because we use a wall plant to halt it in place and stop it from moving, which stops it from dancing. But when it is spawned from a grave, that counts as ending a dance cycle, so if 10 dancing zombies spawn at once, then it will do enough damage to kill our Doom Shroom. Just wow. To avoid the same problem happening again, we just have to wait momentarily after the dancing zombies have spawned, and once they've done their passive attack, then we spend our Doom Shroom to nuke the board. But the dancing zombies are just the tip of the iceberg of what's to come for this level. Because well, I guess I'll let you see for yourself. Yeah, I don't know about you, but this level surely is something else to witness. Does it get any more marvelous than just randomly spawning a bunch of zombies in your face that you can't counter at all? As if we weren't going to lose already, the game also crashed because of how many gravestones there were. Yup, I think we might have finally reached the breaking point. If you manage to get away unscathed by killing all the grave ambush zombies using your cop shots quickly, a new grave ambush can just spawn in its place every wave, and the sunflower zombies are still just adding more graves onto the lawn to make each ambush stronger. With both sunflower and twin sunflower zombie on the same level, there are just way too many graves that spawn for the game to handle, so the game just crashes most of the time. I'm not even going to pretend that you can somehow beat this level normally, because there's just no way. There simply aren't enough explosives we can use that allow us to survive multiple consecutive grave ambushes, and we don't even start with extra sun, so there's no way we can afford more cop cannons. We stand essentially no chance if we don't abuse RNG manipulation to beat this level. I value your time, so I'm not going to talk about the 2 hours of failed attempts it took me to find the seed, which has no sunflower zombies in the first 6 waves. The main difference in this particular one was using jalapeno instead of ice shroom, so we could single out sunflower zombies in the early game without damaging the other zombies to stall the waves as much as possible. That's because we need the time to set up 10 cop cannons before the first flag. I also switched out walnut for pumpkin so we have more space to work with, since we'll only have half the lawn later when the front 4 columns are just going to be gravestones from the sunflower zombies. With maximum stalling, we will have enough time to set up all 10 cop cannons and also get rid of most of the gravestones before the first flag. After that, twin sunflower zombies start spawning. But instead of the 15 cop cannons that we could afford in level 8-7, we only have 10 because the game started us with 50 sun only. We have to conserve our cop shots somehow, and there's no way we can spend a jalapeno every wave because we don't have that many instant kills. The solution? Just pray that all the twin sunflower zombies spawn in the middle lane where our 2 cop shots overlap and kill it with no additional cost is attached. It's a simple plan, but almost impossible to pull off. Here are the 40 failed attempts on just this one wave alone. Turns out, safe scumming until a particular zombie spawns in one lane only, and also timing both cop shots to land on it before it spawns more graves, is a hell of a feat to pull off. And also, this strategy cannot deal with additional grave ambushes, so we just have to safe scum them out of existence. After an hour of just resetting every wave like 40 times, we finally make it to the second flag, and now we have to actually beat a grave ambush since we cannot safe scum the ones on flags out of the level. And it's really tricky because we need to kill the catapult zombies the instant they spawn or else our board gets wiped. It took a bunch of attempts, but eventually, I mastered the timing and managed to kill literally every grave ambush zombie before any damage could be done. Absolute frame perfect timing was required. But if you thought we could just beat the rest of the waves by repeating what we did previously by safe scumming every twin sunflower zombie into the middle lane, here's the problem with that. If you couldn't guess, that's the fact that the game will just crash. It doesn't matter how lucky we are, how much skill we have, or how much endurance we have to complete every level in this mod. The game simply does not allow us to move forward, and I did my best. It seems like this level is just straight up impossible to beat because there's just no way to proceed if the game crashes. Unfortunately, we have to skip this level, but I'm satisfied with how much we tried. Before I end this video, I just want to thank everyone so much for 100,000 subscribers. I cannot believe I'm holding a silver play button right now, which obviously would not be possible if there weren't 100,000 of you guys watching. And obviously thank you to all channel members for your support, and next time we'll be back for more TD mod in World 9.